for free images?
Yep.
Awesome. I love it.
It's got a fancier name, but I can't think of it right now. So.
Hey, it's a free tool. We love free.
There are 10, and I think if I remember correctly, I couldn't count, so I put 12.
So you get more than what you're paying for.
Yeah,
I'm free. I love it.
I can't count. Math's not my strong point.
So your email, so we can make sure that everyone knows that.
It's Mama Red, MAMARED, at mamarednight.com, and it's night with KNIGHT. If you write me an email and say you were listening to the So Social show, I'll be happy to send it right over to you. No obligation, and if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But
awesome.
Before I forget, I promised you 2 tools, and the other one is PowerPoint or Keynote.
I would love you to definitely digress. Definitely get more information on PowerPoint because I know that is your special tool.
Well, and before I say that, if you don't happen to have those 2, there is also an equivalent that you can get called OpenOffice, and it's at openoffice.org.
All right.
So any of those 3 will work, and the reason they work is a trick that I learned on a webinar a while back. And I did not know this, and I am so grateful to this gentleman that taught it. And basically, you can create a slideshow, take a basic image. Most of the tools have like a background, where you can get a design or something. Take it, put a tip on it. Don't write your story, talk it. Get it transcribed at Fiverr. Put those on 2 different ones, and you have 2 social media posts. And you can save out of these as a JPEG or PNG, both of which will work on the web. And then you have an image without having to be a graphics guru.
Love it.
It has taken some time, and eventually I got a little fancier, and I found an image, and I combined it with some text and all this kind of stuff that you can do it really simply. And it was actually what got me off my behind and into the world of Pinterest about 3-4 years ago, I guess, because this guy caught my attention during a webinar on Pinterest, and he says, in case you think you're one of those that doesn't have a visual business, listen up. And my pointy ears went, ding, 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 that's me, that's me, that's me. Because as a consultant and a coach, I couldn't think of how to do visuals for my business. Because I wasn't a photographer, and I didn't, plan weddings. But when he taught me that, it was one of the greatest gifts. Because everybody has tips.
Definitely. And how do you make those tips stand out? That's
exactly.
And that's
put them
where
on a background.
Creation comes in. Yep.
And so
perfect.
if you go back to the thing, and if I could rewind just a tad, to the thing where we talked about what you do best, I would lay money, I honestly would, that there is not a single person out there that runs a small business that doesn't have a passion for something in their business. That's why they're in it.
Totally agree to that.
Thank you. Oh, good. I scripted that right so he wouldn't argue with me. No.
Don't push it.
So if you think about it, when you get jazzed up and you're talking to somebody and you say, well, Richard, if you just, and you fill in the blank, right? Or Richard's talking to his buddy, and he says, well, Bob, if you just play it. Those are the things that become the simplest, cleanest content posts that you can have. Because what people are looking at now is very short, very concise type things. They are not looking to read War and Peace from you in a social media post.
Oh, tell me about it. There are so many people that, they just start writing a book, and it's like, I don't have time for this, because we have to remember our own behavior. How is the behavior of the people that we want to attract? And most people, if they see something, flying through their news feed, if it's going to take more than maybe 30 seconds, they're gone.
Yeah. social media, for the most part, is not the place to get long-winded and get on your high horse and on your, soapboxes. It is a place to inspire, to educate,
very well
to
said.
inform.
I love that. Yes.
And those are done in short spurts. And the really cool thing, I forgot to ask permission if I could tell you this.
Well, tell me and I'll tell you whether you can have permission.
Well, I was working with a client a few weeks ago, and he was one of my Social Snacks clients, and he had done the Social Snacks Challenge, and he had come up with all his, 100, 120 character social snacks and everything, but he was really overwhelmed. And we sat down, and I worked with him on a strategy to fill his blog. And I meant to ask you about it, and I forgot to say, do you think that's something that would be appropriate for this, or should I shut up and not talk about it?
Oh, no, please do share.
Okay. A lot of businesses have a website or a blog, and they're struggling just as seriously with filling the blog as they are the social media. And what I would really love is to turn around and have you do something for your blog first, and then do something for social media. And the way you can do that is to grab a set of index cards and write down some tips. 3 minimum. I'm not going to let you off with less than 3. You got to at least do 3. If you can do between 10 and 21, fabulous. You just bought yourself a month or 2 of blog posts and social media posts.
Yep.
And so what you do is, let's say that you have 3 related tips. And, Cheri, I'm going to pick on you for a minute if I can.
Okay, you can.
And let's say it's thank you. 3 tips for writing a good social media post. And so you write those down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to take those and you're going to spin them into a week's worth of blog posts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how?
Well, you would actually break them down to, as far as into blog posts, you take one topic at a time. Like one of the things I do, I share about the 3 different types of postings. I could share those, and then I could go and blog in more detail. Am I on the right track? Okay.
You are doing so well.
All right.
Can I refine it just a teensy bit?
Yes, please.
Okay, so everybody take this piece of paper that Cheri said you would need, and on it I want you to write Monday. And on Monday I want you to write what I'm going to call a summary post. And on Monday you're going to have these 3 tips, and you're going to write 1 to 2 sentences each, max. And you're going to have an intro that says, it's really important that you learn how to write or learn how to do strategy or whatever it is you're going to introduce. And then you're going to do these 3 tips. Tip 1, la-da-da-da-da-da-da. Tip 2. Now, you could end with, and come right back on tomorrow or Tuesdays because I'm going to tell you more about, and on Tuesday you take tip number 1 and you make it into a blog post. And you do the same on Wednesday with tip 2. And on Thursday you do it with tip 3. And on Friday you do what I call a roundup post. You reiterate what your 3 tips were. You give a little bit extra of maybe something you didn't do, and then you do a content upgrade where you give, let's say, a PDF version of those, or maybe a checklist of the 10 things to do before you click submit, on your blog post, or before you tell that client, yes, I'll do your job, or whatever it may be. And now you have a week's worth of posts on your blog out of 3 tips.
That is genius. You have them coming back for more, craving more, and you have them engaged. They can't wait until the next one. And that is what most people struggle with, is getting people back to their site or to their blog to engage and to actually converse with them. And you have the conversation flowing, and they're coming back and can't wait.
There you go.
It's genius.
Thank you,
and
madam.
I was thinking along that line in that roundup, you could even then take them to maybe opt in to get more. Now you can capture their email.
Absolutely.
You like that? Ooh.
Do you know that that's what a content upgrade is meant for? Do you know the difference between a content upgrade and a regular opt-in?
No. Please tell more. Tell us more.
A content upgrade, as opposed to what many of us have become used to, in the sidebar, get my widget, get my thing, opt-in for news, whatever. And opt-ins that are on the side, the right side or left side of your blog these days, get about a 0.01% subscription rate. So they're about useless to have. Mm-hmm. However, if you write a post about these 3 tips, and at the end of it, you say to get 3 more tips and to get a printable checklist, you have now done what's called a content upgrade because it is specifically related to that post. Mm-hmm. It is something that is in the thought processes. You're not interrupting with, oh, by the way, I'm telling you all about these really cool writing things, but wouldn't you like to have my Amway vitamins now?
No.
No, not really. Bye. I'm out of here, man.
I love it. You're lassoing them in, is what you're doing. And you're hooking them. It's kind of that hook on the stage, and then someone's pulling them off the stage, you're pulling them in.
Exactly.
Love it.
So that is a way that you can take that. And the neat thing about it is if we want to go even further with this same 3 tips, we take them and we do a, hey, Richard, baby, what are you up to, hon? And we say, could you record those tips for me, darling? And Richard gets on his little smartphone, and he records them, and now he has an audio version of his tip.
Yep.
And he could put that with a few visuals and pop it out on YouTube. And now he's got a video for it.
You're repurposing and you're recycling and you're just taking it to that next level.
But there's a difference between doing it this way. You are repurposing. I don't want to say you're not. However, you are repurposing with a strategy, Richard. Hint, hint. Your favorite thing?
Yes, it is.
So you're doing it with a strategy, so I call it repurposing on purpose with my little trademark symbol.
Oh, I
because
love
you are
that.
Doing it on purpose.
That is so, so cool. This information that you're sharing, I know these are super golden nuggets, and I know your clients pay you a lot of money for this. So
no, they better.
I just wanted to first of all just say thank you so much for sharing with our audience today, and as well as the offer that you've provided them. We'll make sure that they get your information out there. We do have about 7 more minutes, but we want to make sure that all of our audience knows how they can connect with you on social media, as well as go to your website and learn more. So if you would share that information before we continue our conversation, that would be great.
If you want to hook up with me on Facebook, it's Tame the Beasties, and it's BEASTIES. I don't spell anything much of the normal way. And the website is mamaredknight.com, or you can also type tamethebeasties.com, and it will get you there. And let's see, what else? Twitter?
Well, how about, you have Twitter, which is Mama Red Knight as well?
Yes.
All right. And list your email again so that they know how they can get that free gift that you're offering them. Because we, on behalf of the audience, I thank you for that. That is so cool.
Oh, it's my joy. I'd love to give it to y'all. It's Mama Red, MAMARED, at mamaredknight.com.
And again, knight is KNI.
Yes, like, white knight galloping up on a horse.
The knight of shining armor, and the shining armor, right? And you mentioned Pinterest. Now you have an active Pinterest account?
I do. It's Mama Red Pins.
Ah, awesome. So shout out to our audience. Make sure you connect with Mama Red for a continuing conversation. As you can tell, she loves to share. She loves to talk. We love to hear her talk. We just love having her as our guest. And so, to continue on with the content, I would love to hear a little bit more about, as you said, you're not a graphic designer.
Nope.
But you have found a format that works for you, and I know with PowerPoint, that's where you're building out your social snack. So maybe you could describe a little bit in the next, maybe in the next 5 minutes, or 4 minutes, I guess, how you actually create a social snack.